Alright, now that you have mapped your thought, you probably see the picture more clear. You know where you are strong and where the risks are. Now it is time to put that insight into a tool that captures your vision in one page. This is where the business model canvas come in. You ask, why a canvas, not a business plan? My point is that at this stage, writing a full business plan is like scripting a fantasy novel. What you actually need is a simple one-page snapshot, clear enough to guide decisions, simple enough to update as you learn. That is what the business model canvas gives you. One story, several blocks. Let's go through it step by step. You can fill it in as we go, or just listen first, then do the work with fresh eyes. Build each block based on your interviews and your SWOT. Value proposition. We start at the heart. Your promise. This is the outcome your user will get if your product does its job right. Don't use cliches like AI for X or platform for Y. Ask yourself, what is a painful, concrete situation our users are in? What's get better for them if we do our job well? Why would they switch from what they are doing now? You can reuse your day one mission sentence or sharpen it using the "is it just for me" test. If a stranger reads your value statement, can explain who it is for and why it matters without extra context, you've got this. If not, it needs sharpening. Customer segments. Who exactly are you building for? Not everyone, not small businesses. I am talking about a clear, specific segment. Think back to your interviews. Who got excited? Who told you real pain stories? Where do you already have access? Maybe through your network, a previous job, or a community. Pick up a group that is big enough to matter, but small enough to understand. That is your anchor. Remember a simple check. If your initial total market looks smaller than a school reunion, you might need to widen it. But if your segment is basically everyone online, that is the opposite problem. Channels. Now, how are you going to reach your customers? Today, you don't need a perfect go-to-market plan. That comes later. Right now, just get clear on where do your users already hang out, online or offline? How do they discover new tools? Do you have 1, 2 realistic ways to reach them in the next 30, 60 days? Don't try to be everywhere. Pick 1 or 2 real channels and focus on them. Customer relationship. What kind of relationship are you starting with? Are you guiding them one-on-one through early onboarding? Are they signing up and testing it themselves? Are you creating a small community? At the early stage, it's normal to be high touch. You're still learning. Just be honest in your canvas about what kind of experience are you setting in. Key resources. Let's talk about what you actually need to make your product work. The key resources. First, people. And I don't mean we need smart people. I mean the specific skills your project can't function without. Think engineering, design, compliance, whatever is critical for your product to deliver its core promise. Next, data. Are you planning to build on open data sets or you need something proprietary? This decision shapes everything from how you train your models to how you position yourself in the market. Then, tools and tech. What infrastructure do you need? Which models or APIs are you relying on? What has to be in place for the product to work? And finally, access. This includes distribution channels, key communities, or partnerships that help you to get to your users faster. Here's where founders often discover red flags. Let's say your product relies on sensitive medical data, but no one on your team has ever worked in healthcare. That is not a deal breaker, but it is a risk, and it needs a plan. So, look at your list. Is there anything mission critical that you don't have yet? If there is, then write it down, flag it early, and think through how you'll close the gap. Key activities. Now, let's zoom in on what you actually need to be great at. So, ask yourself, what are the 2 or 3 things we have to nail to make this work? Not everything you could do. The few that define your business. Maybe it is building fast, getting your core product in front of users quickly, testing it, learning, iterating. That is a real superpower in early stage. Maybe it is running structured experiments. You are learning fast, setting success metrics, and revisiting them often. That is how you validate your riskiest assumptions. Maybe it is about handling sensitive data. If you are working in healthcare, finance, or any regulated field, data privacy isn't optional. You need to build it into your operations from day one. Or maybe your strength is in support. You are serving a narrow niche, and what makes you stand out is how closely you understand and help that group. So, pick up your top activities, the ones that move the needle. Make them visible. And remember what we discussed about structured experimentation. That's part of your key activities too. Define clear success metrics for your tests. Identify your riskiest assumptions and make it a habit to review those regularly. Key partnerships. It is the next. Ask yourself, who do we depend on to make this work? Maybe it is a platform like an API provider or an app store or LLM you are building on. Maybe it is an institution like a university, a clinic, or a bank. Or maybe it is a distribution partner like an agency or a reseller. At this stage, you don't need contracts signed or formal deals in place. Just be honest about where you're relying on someone else and where you are not fully in control. That will help you spot where you need to build relationship, find backups, or design for more flexibility. Revenue streams. So now let's talk about money. The key principle here is simple. Keep it simple. In the beginning, one clear revenue stream is enough. Ask yourself, who is paying you? Is it the user directly, the employer, maybe a sponsor? What exactly are they paid for? A subscription, usage, a transaction fee, or a one-time setup? And how often do they pay? Every month, per use, annually? Here's a simple formula I recommend keeping in mind. Monthly revenue equals number of customer multiplied by average price. You don't need precise financial forecast yet, but you do need to know whether your model has enough space to work and whether it makes basic economic sense. Cost structure. Finally, let's look at the other side of the equation. Your costs. What will it actually take to run this business? Again, keep it simple and lean. Focus on what is essential. You'll need key people. That means founders and maybe 1 or 2 crucial hires or contractors. You will need tools. Think hosting, model usage costs, maybe a few core SaaS subscriptions. You will also need a bit of budget for go-to-market, but choose just one or two channels you will actually test, not everything under the sun. And of course, there's basic legal and accounting. Keep it tidy, but don't overbuild. One principle to remember here: challenge every cost that doesn't directly help you get or keep customers. And above all, aim to be what we call default alive. That means your monthly revenue should cover your monthly expenses. Maybe not today, but soon and by design. So, once you filled your canvas, you probably have one or two reactions. Either, okay, this holds together, it is rough, but I can see the shape of it. Or, there's some tension here. A few things don't quite line up. Both are useful. If it feels tight, great, you've got a starting point. If it feels messy, that is where your next focus should go. Let's talk about a few common traps I want you to watch out for.